what's up, everybody? Dr. Frank here with Vince G, and we are doing a little bit of something different today. So, we've been streaming now for what, like 3 years, I think, Vince, the channel's been up. And the number one video, the number one most popular video of all time for us is the video where Vince did the tournament strategy on Rush. So that's been our number one video with the most views out of all 3 years that we've been streaming. So I talked to Vince and I let him know. I said, hey, Vince, I don't know. I think maybe the folks want more tournament strategy videos. I don't know if that's true or not, but we are about to find out.
Yeah, on that Rush one, a little older code, and then once Eric got on the machine, he was off to the races. I think he played like an hour, and so I just plunged it out and didn't get a chance to share some of the things that go through my mind as I play. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to go through a few slides and then hop on the machine, and we're going to play 4 players. And I'll explain everything right here in a minute with this, and then we're going to do Avengers Infinity Quest tomorrow, and then also Game of Thrones. Same concept, same format.
Awesome. So let's get to who is this for? Who is this not for? Oh, we've got the standings animation, unfortunately. All right, I'll kick it over to you, Vince.
All right, so we're going to get into what I would call more advanced Rush strategy and tournament strategy specific to tournaments, mainly group match play, but this also applies to, say, head-to-head. So who is it for? It's really like if you're a player who's tired of losing at Rush and you want to just win more consistently at a higher degree of consistency. So this is really who it's for, because I see players play and they're just like flipping around and they're going for the time machine multi-ball. They're taking any multi-ball that's available, and you don't want to do that. They're picking any mode that's available because they don't even know how, exactly how to get the right mode with the right multi-ball, etc. So we're going to get into all of that. But it's not a basic tutorial that's really quick. If you're one of the players who I just want something for 5 minutes, that's cool. That's not what this is. If you're a player who just wants to hope for the best, when you're playing, that's not what this is about. It may not also be for top pros like Escher or Jason Zoller or even some of the top 100 IFPA players, but I have noticed that some of them don't even learn all the rules to games. I've talked to some, I'm like, what about this?
I know some. I know one in particular.
So yeah, we've both helped Eric out at times too, but their ability allows them to overcome some of the game situation issues. So, ways to win in competitive pinball matches, right? Number one, if you superior skill, right? We know, speaking of that person, shot accuracy, flipper skills, reflexes, nudging, keeping the ball in play. That's one way to win. Number 2, superior game strategy and knowledge. Number 3, superior situational play. And number 4, superior luck.
Just get lucky.
So if you're not the most skilled player, which neither of us are the most skilled player, we're always working on our skills, and don't want to solely rely on luck. Luck's great, though. We'll take it, but we can't always rely on it. Or the other person being unlucky. Then 2 and 3, superior game strategy and knowledge, and superior situational play. That's what can get you on the winning path, and that's what this tutorial is about. So why Rush? There's a lot of games we play in tournaments, Dr. Frank, where you just need the one strategy or the 1 or 2 things, and you just do that.
Shoot, lit, spinner.
Yeah, and you're good, right? But Rush is really complex, and most people don't know or appreciate the complexity, and it offers so many paths at any moment that understanding the what's and the whys along with the right order of actions can really give you a big advantage over players that don't have that knowledge. And I just know this because when I play tournaments and I'm on Rush or AIQ, which we'll talk about in the series that we're doing, and Game of Thrones, my finishing order of like usually winning or coming in second, which is really important in strikes, right? Because this applies to strikes, match play, all these different formats. Um, I have a super high percentage on those compared to certain other machines, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 4 players. I'm going to play all 4 players. So it's like simulating tournament play, whether that's like a strikes tournament and like I said, match play, etc. So and I'm just focused on situational play. So I'm going to control all 4 players. I'm going to explain every decision based on score, the progress I've made in the game, the progress of the other players, and also the perceived skill levels of the other players. So a lot going on. So what we're going to talk about specific to Rush is the optimal combos, modes, multi-ball timing, but it does assume prerequisite knowledge of the playfield and general rules. This isn't for beginners. I'm not going to get into all the basics. We're going right into it because most tournament players, have a general sense of what's going on with the machine. So just a warning, again, this is detailed. It's going to be detailed. I guess some people are like really ADD
I
are going to
couldn't
fall
tell
asleep.
from the PowerPoint
Right?
presentation if you couldn't find out.
And if anyone saw the original, same thing. So let's talk about skill prerequisites, and we're almost through all this, so we're going to play in a moment. I put it in order of importance for this game in particular. Post catch. The post catch is really critical on Rush. On the right flipper is where you can do it, and it's usually very consistent. On this machine, I happen to kind of clean it recently, so it's not as like it usually was like 95% for me. Now it's maybe 80%, but it works on pretty much every Rush machine I've played. So that post catch is just grabbing the ball. You'll see what I do, and keeping it right there as it comes through the in lane. And so it's like a key, number one thing you should learn on this game and do. Trapping, so you can assess and what to do next. Also, of course, allows for post passes, but just assessing what's on the screen, the instant info, we're going to be doing a lot of that. A lot of what's on the screen, reading where we're at and the instant info, and then looking at the play field and trying to decide, okay, what do I want to do next? Really important. This, if you're, players who are just, on the fly, flailing players and just not really controlling the ball as much, you just can't optimize your score on Rush. So, but you can use some of this still. Post passing, obvious. Live catching, pretty obvious. Especially coming down from the time machine. If you're better at drop catching, good. Or you could bounce pass also, depending on the behavior of the game, right? Key concepts, we're going to talk about combos, modes, multi-balls, and stacking all 3, which is really the key, and doing it in the right way. So let's talk about key shots real quick, because when you're at a tournament, a lot of times you get to practice, right? And so when we're practicing, Dr. Frank, sometimes we only have half an hour or an hour. Mm-hmm. So what do you concentrate on? The short plunge is key. You only get 2 chances, and it will extend ball save if you can make the shot, so you need the short plunge. If you full plunge it around, it can often go through the pops and right down the middle. So you don't want to let it auto plunge, and you want to know where that short plunge is. Time machine shot is really critical. It's for starting modes and some multi-balls, but that's where the post catch comes in. Because if you don't post catch, a lot of rushes, it's such an early shot on the right that you can't hit the time machine. I've seen people try 8 times in a row on the fly, trying to hit the time machine from the right flipper as it comes down, and they can't hit it.
So you're saying from here up to here.
Yes. And then the dead end shot is really a bailout shot on premium and LE, and we're doing the LE today. So if you're playing on a pro, and I know a lot of locations have pro, it's a little more dangerous, if not a lot more dangerous than the LE. Although there is some mod out there that will bring it back to the right flipper, but because it's going to kick the ball out of the dead end, because it's called a dead end, right? Except for it's not a dead end on the LE and premium. And then right ramp, that lights the Far Cry locks, but also the first shot for some really important combos. I'm going to get into the combos that I focus on, the 1, 2, 3s, and that is, if I had to boil this down on how to really win, get the right combo and then stack it. And I see most people don't do it. And you got to use, when you get the combo, you're going to get the weapon lit, which is the lockdown bar button, and it spot all the shots. And you'll see what I'm doing because I'm going to explain everything in a minute. So with that, I think we're ready to rock and roll.
Awesome.
Player 2. Player 3. Player 4.
All right, so we're good to go?
Yep.
All right, so I've got 4 players up. So what do you do first? Obviously, I talked about the plunge, but what I'm going to do is I'm looking at, I got a little pointer here, and then Dr. Frank will help me. I'm looking at that loop shot right there. And I've got the loop fix on this. Some of these rushes, the loop, it'll airball. But you can see right now it's orange, so that's working man. I don't want working man. So I'm not going to make that shot out of the gate. I'm going to more go for one of the 2 red shots here, right? So those are the real skill shots. So once I do that, I'm going for number 1, the right ramp. So when I do the right ramp, you can see it's lime green for limelight. I'm not worried about the modes right now. All I want to do is get a combo. So I want to get the I want to get the moving pictures combo. And if you're not sure what they are, we go to instant info. I hold in the left flipper. And this is telling you the shots, right? So moving pictures, you got the right ramp, the spinner, and then the side loop. So I'm going to go for the right ramp, then the spinner, because the ramp's going to return back to the left flipper. So I'm already thinking 2 to 3 moves ahead. I'm going to shoot the right ramp, assuming I don't miss. It's going to come back to the left flipper. I'm going to go for the number 2, because it'll be lit 2 then for the spinner. It's going to come around to the upper right flipper, and then I'm going to go in and shoot that upper loop. Again, assuming I hit it, and now I've got the combo. I have a personal rule when I play this game.
Can you shoot the upper loop fence?
Yes.
Point out that upper loop again. This one right here at the end.
Yep. So anytime I get a combo, you have to collect the combo at the time machine. Anytime I get any combo, I'm collecting it right away. And maybe I'm in the right mode, maybe I'm not, because it's so powerful when you use it right that it's worth it. And if I start the wrong mode on ball 1, who cares? I'm not worried about ball 1. Don't worry about your score in ball 1. So that's all I'm doing. I'm looking at that, seeing, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try to get that combo. And it doesn't matter how good I think the other players are. I'm doing this kind of opening, kind of like in chess. You know, you have opening moves, opening gambits. That's what I'm doing. There's the ramp. Oh, let's see if I get it back. Shoo. Quick short plunge. Don't let it go around. Go for that. Missed. Missed. Yeah. So, typical of tournaments, right? Now I got nothing because I never collected the combo even though I got it. So, if I'm player 2, I'm stepping up. I see what player 1 has. I see that player 1's gotten no progress. So now I'm going to just go ahead and do the same thing because this is really the way I like to open. Now, if I somehow miss that right ramp and I hit the spinner, then I'm going to go for a different combo. And I'm only going to show like a few combos. There's 10. You don't need to worry about them all.
Hey, are you gonna play?
So power windows on the lower left there, spinner, and the side loop twice. So that'll give big money. So when I'm in the big money mode, I'm going to go ahead and use that weapon, which will spot all the shots, but I'm going to do it at the right time, right? And then you'll see again how it works. Oh, by the way, this is set to competition, and it is all set to default. Now, before you in most tournaments that's what they set, just default. But in some tournaments they're gonna make you can see up on the screen multi-ball, 4 more hits when on ball 1. You know if that says 4 hits, you're on default. The other thing is if it's not on default settings and they make that a little harder, it's 8. Your strategy changes. At a recent tournament, it was set to 8. So I think that was actually ball at the beach, by except for that game got taken out early. They had an issue with it. So if it's 8, or you have a bad ball 1 like I did, I'm going for time machine, getting 2 or 3 shots during ball 2. So by the time I get through the game, I at least get the time machine multi-ball. The harder the machine is set, the more you're going to just worry about time machine to start. But most tournaments, we're going for this combo strategy.
Is competition mode harder than default?
It's essentially the same. I mean, it's the default settings or default settings in the game, and then competition is just removing the randomness. And the reason I brought up competition is you see how I still have working man right there in that inner loop, and it's going to be the same for every player. So the way the records are set when you start, which dictate the modes, which you see here, which again, most players already know most of that. I don't want to get too much into the basics, like I said. It's going to be the same. So again, I'm going to go for that combo strategy. So the good news is I hit the 2 pick targets, so now I got a lock lit. So I missed. So now I'm going for. Usually I only talk when I'm trapped up. So I've got the spinner, and I did 1 loop. You see the number 3 lit? That'll give me, like I said, power windows. I'm not worried about any of the others. Since I hit that shot by accident, I'm going to take advantage of it. That's the situation. So now I'm going to, on most rushes, you got to like hesitate, and either it's going to come back up or it's going to hit this and come over. Again, this is a little like recently cleaned, so sometimes the ball squirts out. For this ramp, I would go for the spinner, but this is lit. I'm going to go for the ramp. It's going to also notice what color the record is for the ramp. That is the big money color. So if I get that, then I'll have the money ready at the time machine, which I already have because you see it's solid in the inner loop. Brush, it's going to take the leftmost color for the mode. So it's really important because a lot of people want to go for the blue one, which is Spirit of Radio, which is very lucrative. Probably the most lucrative of any mode, although arguably the single ball mode, I say single ball, La Via Strangiata, good for single ball, right? But I don't do Spirit of Radio first. I don't want to do it first. I want to complete a mode first. That is not that one. Why? Because when you complete a mode, you get 2x on a shot, and I want to put the shot in the jackpot collect, which is the dead end for Spirit of Radio. So now I'm going to get 2x on what's the most lucrative mode. So all of this is like you're doing these things and thinking through these things. So on ball 3 at the worst, fingers crossed, you're in a position where you might have 7 million, 11 million, and everyone's like way ahead, 50, 70, 100 million. And then you put this together and all of a sudden they're like, how did he do that, right? Or how did she do that? So I'm going for the ramp. When I already know what I'm doing when it comes back. I want to hit the spinner and then try to go ahead and collect that third shot in the combo in the inner loop, and then it's going to come back around. I'm going to then try to hit the side ramp so it comes here and then go into the time machine so I start the mode. The other thing is I want to make sure that I don't start the time machine multi-ball right now, and it says 3 more hits, so I don't have to worry about that because I want to time it. So if I start the mode, great. But now that I think about it, I'm probably not going to start the mode because I'm going to go for Far Cry and just get that lined up, because that's really the better combo is a mode with the weapon for the mode and Far Cry. And then you take it one step farther if you get the snakes and arrows combo. Now I'm losing, like I said, Frank, we're going to lose people on the complexity, right? But that's the whole point. This is at a higher level. This is...
You got people watching. They're interested.
But this is how to play the game. This is what's really interesting about this game. Why I think it was nominated as Game of the Year when it came out. All right, so let's try and do some of this. All right, so notice how on the LE and Premium, you've got this kicks out here. On the Pro, it doesn't do that, but on here, it'll kick out to the side. It won't if Mystery's lit, but sometimes it'll kick out here, and you got to be ready for where that feed is. So I collected it, right? So I did what I said. It worked out. Sometimes you're gonna miss. So now I've got, notice on the, I don't know if it's showing up on the stream, lockdown bar buttons blue.
Yeah.
So that's matching. That's matching the mode. So now I've got multi-ball ready at the time machine, but I don't want it. This is where control's important. If I wasn't talking here, I'd be doing the same thing. So notice in the upper right, it says multi-ball ready, red barchetta. I don't want red barchetta. Most people are just like taking whatever multi-ball they get. It's the lowest scoring. It's ball one. I don't need to be in a hurry. You don't need to be in a hurry, right? So I'm going to go and shoot for the dead end, because that's what changes the time machine multi-ball. And before I just go ahead and do that, notice on the screen, snakes and arrows, dead end, left orbit, side loop. I don't care about this mode right now. I don't care about scoring in the mode right now. I could care less. It's ball one. What I want to do is, if I could get snakes and arrows and collect that, that's going to give me an add ball in Far Cry. So if I got an add a ball in Far Cry, the weapon in Far Cry, and I'm in, say, this mode or another mode that I have the weapon, I'm probably going to get to the one little victory and get through the multi-ball of Far Cry, and then you're going to see a lot of points. But let's just see what happens. I'm going to start and shoot for number one over there in the dead end. It's going to return to here because it's, again, premium LE. Then I'm going to go ahead and go for the left orbit, and at that point I'm going to hold the right flipper up, and that's another thing you want to check in practice. Does the ball, when you make that left orbit shot, go into the scoop when you hold it up? If it does, and you see it lit for lock, that's great, and usually it will, but some rushes it won't. This one's been, if I make it too clean, it'll miss it a little bit, because again, I cleaned the play field just the other day. So it's playing a little faster. So if I lock it, the beauty is on this, it's gonna give me a plunge opportunity, which I could, if I hit one of the red shots, I'm gonna get like 5-second ball save. But let's go ahead and do what we want to do here. And the other thing is, this will change, that dead end's gonna change the multi-ball from red barchetta, and the next one in order is gonna be subdivisions. I don't really care if it's subdivisions or fly by night. Both are a lot more points than red barchetta.
You got two.
All right, so the beauty now is I get the plunge, and when I do, I'll short plunge and I'll try to get the 3, so I can get that number 3 in that combo, which is the snakes and arrows combo. When I do, it's going to come back to the right flipper. I'm going to then go for the side ramp, so it comes back here, so I could collect at the time machine.
There's no timer on your combos?
No. So there's no timer on the combos. So that works. I'll bounce it over. Collect it. It's going good for player 2. So now I've got 2 combos. I started the mode here. I'm sorry, I started the multi-ball subdivisions. Subdivisions, you need to hit the time machine first. Add-a-ball is at the scoop with the mystery lit, so I'm not worried about that. I mean, I'm not yet. I want to try and get a few shots off. And you can see the red shots. Those are the multi-ball shots. Now I could use the weapon in this multi-ball, and I might consider it. If I do, what you're going for is the super jackpot in subdivisions, because it can add up to 30, 40 million. Oh, that's terrible. So that's how it goes in tournaments, right? There was your post catch. The other thing on rush, most rushes, when you try to grab the ball, it doesn't roll off the flippers. It tends to stay. So keep that in mind. Don't panic and try to get control. So you can see the value of the shots in big money. You see in the upper left of the screen, 3 shots for big money. Round 3 of 3. I'm actually in a little bit of a problem, because if I finish those 3 shots and then collect at the time machine, I'll finish the mode. That's good. But I didn't use the weapon. And I could use the weapon now, but I want to stack it, and I didn't stack it in the subdivisions. So now I want to hit the 2 pick targets there at the ramp, try and get the lock, and then start Far Cry. And if I do that, that's money. So I want to avoid the pink shots. I don't want to advance big money and by accident finish the mode and basically totally waste this weapon that I worked hard for. So I'm going to go for these pick targets. Maybe I'm going to drain, like hit it and go in the drain. At least I'll make progress. I don't care. It's ball 1. It's not about what my score is in ball 1, although, I'm way ahead of player 1 right now, but that's not too important. So for me, instead of hitting these pick targets directly, I want to go for the spinner and then use this upper right flipper and real quick, do a quick, try to hit them right. And sometimes you'll hit both in one shot, and then it's usually pretty safe. And then the lock will be lit. I got one of them. So I got one. I told you, I may hit one and then drain, and that's what happened.
Can you disable the shaker motor? Is that easy to do via settings?
I believe so. I've never done it. It's not been detrimental to the game at all.
Chat's saying it's because it's so quiet they're listening to you talk, and then the shaker motor
Ah.
the microphone.
Well, if chat knows exactly where in the settings we can set it, that'll allow us to do it very quickly on the next ball. So if you can look that up, that would be helpful. All right, so I'm player 3. I step up, I look. You always want to look at what everyone else has, right? So I'm looking at it, and I'm not going to change anything in ball 1 right now. I'm going to do exactly what I said. I'm going to try to get the 1-2-3 combo for moving pictures and see what happens. Things get like more complicated and more options once you start getting to ball 2. Yeah, don't let it auto plunge. There's one pick target. All right. So ball save was running out. What I used to do in tournaments a lot is just try to get certain things done during ball save, and then I'd panic flip trying to make use of the ball save in case I get a quick drain, and that usually caused the ball to be out of control, and you can never get a hold of it. So definitely leverage ball save, but don't rush. Oh, gee. Pun intended? I don't know. Pun not intended. So again, right ramp, spinner, upper loop. I was aiming for the spinner and I missed it and hit the ramp again. Weird bounce there. So, 2-ball game for player 1 and 3. Same thing. Going for the spinner and then the upper loop. Post pass over. Missed. Good enough. Now if I could just get control so I can hit. Don't drain. Don't. Alright. So I'll collect at the time machine. Now guess what? Spirit of Radio's lit. You see it's plus 20% in case you didn't know as you hit other shots, because you could see it's the farthest left, it's blue. That's Spirit of Radio. We got a second shot, so that's giving us the 20% because we've got one here and one here lit solid, right? And they're all different colors. If, let's say on the far right, this was green instead of blue, right? Then it would change the mode from Spirit of Radio to Limelight. So that's what these record and the colors are about. So learning that is important. And the modes that I tend to avoid is the Tom Sawyer, which is the light blue, and the Working Man. The light blue, it's not like all the shots are lit. You got to do two shots, and then they all light. And the Working Man's just low value and a ton of shots. Ball one, I don't need to just randomly start whatever's there. So like I said, I don't like to start Spirit of Radio first, but it's lit. So I'm gonna take it because I've got the combo. Now what I could do is post pass over if I want to be a little greedy and hit the one shot. So if I do that, it'll go to 30%, but that extra 10% is not going to do anything, and it wouldn't change the mode anyway, which I'm not worried about.
All combo shots.
So I got the moving pictures like I want. The maximum you can have on Spirit of Radio is you could build the jackpot up to 50 million, but you do it by hitting shots. So I'm not too worried about that, although it's always good to have a good ball one. But I got the combo I wanted.
Yeah, inside sets on the light.
Alright, so where am I at? So now...
Are you starting your next ball, Vince?
Yeah.
Let me pull that. Unplug the shaker motor?
Yeah, if you go ahead and take care of that.
Hey, Hoser, let's get the show on the road.
I'm trying, Hoser.
Do you need a light?
I got a light, I just can't see where the motor is. Oh, kitty's gone?
Yeah. Any other questions, Frank?
Hey, are you gonna play?
Since we have a minute, we gotta get We gotta get
This is it
Lulu.
right here,
We
right?
gotta get Lulu on stream. Her first BatCave appearance. Lulu the cat. Right, Lulu?
Yeah, that's gotta be it. Do not put fingers near this. Hey there, puss. Just I can't see where it goes over to the board. If I get my head stuck in here, man.
Well, usually I'm only speaking during when I trap up, so maybe it's not so bad if we leave it, but then we can find what setting it is.
Yeah, the setting apparently doesn't do anything.
Okay. I've never messed with it. I always left it. Omar, cut the red wire.
I think I see it. Are you ready to start over, Vince?
Well, if we have to.
I think I got it.
If it's like a tournament, sometimes stuff happens.
Alright, well, we didn't reset it, folks, so... I don't think it's gonna auto-plunge you, but be ready.
Alright, so again, player 1, ball 2. I'm looking at all the other scores. 3 out of the 4 players didn't do good. What I notice is, of course, my lock is lit. So that's what I'm going to focus on. And again, I don't have any progress on the or collected combos, so I'm just going to get a 2 for 1, right? I'm going to get the 1 in the combo, and I'm going to light the lock. And when it comes around, I'm going to hit the spinner. I'm going to go for the loop. And again, now it's a little different situation with that side loop. You get a little points there, and it multiplies the points here if you do it. The record's already lit solid, so it's not going to have any effect. So you could hit it if you want, but I'm not worried about it. I want to hit the left ramp. Missed. Alright. Good news. I got the combo ready. All I have to do is collect it at the time machine. I'm always like trapping and just deciding like, okay, what do I want to do next? So I got limelight lit, as you can see, ready to collect. Or start, I should say, at the time machine. So when I hit the shot, I'm going to start limelight, but I'm going to collect the moving pictures weapon, and it's going to turn blue. That said, I'm still 4 shots away from multi-ball. But when I do hit the time machine, I'm going to try to lock it here. So like I said, I'm always thinking 2, 3, 4 moves ahead while I'm trapped up. So if I could lock it there, then I'm only going to need to work on this to get Far Cry ready. So got the weapon, started limelight. See if we can lock it.
No pictures, please.
So it won't plunge this time. It comes around. That was bad. I tried trapping. Alright. So 3 more hits. If I shoot the time machine on the premium and LE where it's like that, it's more dangerous. So I'm gonna post pass over. Again, I'm not worried about the mode right now. I need that least because it's ball 2, and the other players 3 and 4 didn't do that well and didn't make much progress, if at all. I'm more concerned about getting the time machine multi-ball ready because I still have the weapon, and then when everything's ready there, the worst case is I got ball 3. But I want to try to get Far Cry ready and stack it that way instead of the time machine. So I'm gonna post pass. Usually it's, like I said, safer. It should come right back to the flipper most times. I'm going to try to live catch it and repeat. Okay.
Use those flippers to keep your
So the other neat thing about this mode, Limelight, notice how the ramp went up. So now I can shoot that. It'll relight the shots, which is standard for Limelight. But now I got a safe shot to the time machine, because you can see I've got 2 more shots on multi-ball. So now I got a safe shot instead of worrying about how that ball's going to come back. So the point is, when you're in Limelight, that will time out the shot, so you could just hold on to it and then wait for the time machine to have the ramp go up and give you a safer shot if you really wanted to wait. So I tried post catching, squirted out. Notice what I did up here with the upper right. That was on purpose, trying to light the pick target. So instead of trying to hit it head on, because it's pretty dangerous, I've seen it drain many times that way, I'm going to look to get the ball in the right flipper. The thing is, look at the time machine. It's going nutso because the red barchetta multi-ball's ready. So this is where the decision making comes in. So my decisions are, I don't want to hit red barchetta, so I can post pass over, hit the dead end, so at least if I accidentally start that multi-ball, we talk about accidental multi-ball starts tomorrow, which tomorrow for us, for Avengers Infinity Quest. You don't want to start Thor by accident without a mode, right? And so a lot of times you could get it ready. So I want to do the, if I shoot the dead end, now that's where the post catch is going to be really important, because I want to get control, so then I could worry about over here and getting that multi-ball ready for Far Cry. And if I make some mistake and I accidentally start the mode, I don't want to start red barchetta. I got 62 million more for player 2 to just to get even, right? And then player 2 still has their ball. I can't, I gotta play it somewhat safe because of 3 and 4, but know that I want to win, so I want to kind of balance things out, right? So I am going to go ahead and go for that and try to get control. A little shake here to slow it down. That is courtesy of Eric Stone, especially on Black Knight Sword of Rage. When it comes out of the scoop, try and wiggle it and slow the ball down enough to get control. So now, and if you're ever not sure when you're trapped up to get out of the instant info, I use instant info all the time. Most players, it's like overlook it all together. Do both flippers, and on the right, I can confirm that it's subdivisions, but I don't want to get that right now. So I'm going to go for the post pass over and go for the spinner so I can hit the pick target, so I can get the lock lid at the right ramp, so I can hit that and get Far Cry ready. And I'm only 10%. If you look up here, now it's 20% for Limelight, so I'm not in danger of completing the mode. This is all the stuff that goes through my head when I'm playing, you know? So the more you do it, like anything else, the more natural it is. Okay. Missed. Notice how the ball, when it bounced, it bounces this way, and it does the same on the right. That's really cool about this game. Allows you to control over certain other games, like Avengers. It's really, the ball doesn't behave that way. So for whatever reason, the ball behaves on almost every rush that way. So I've got what I want. I've got the lock lit, and I just want to preferably not hit the time machine. The problem is the mode shots are off. I'm still in Limelight. I'm at 25%. I can relight it after I'm in Far Cry. So I'm not worried about, because it's still there. The mode's still there. So I'm going to try to get Far Cry going. Let's see. Would have been nice to do that because now it's a little more pressure on ball 3. So a little mess up there on the field. All right. So now I step up on player 2. I'm looking at the play field. So what am I looking at? Number 1, this is flashing. When the ramp's flashing, your Bastille Day's ready. Don't worry about that. You're just gonna. That's it. It's got okay points. There is a time to worry about it when it's like ball 3, and you're like, oh, I need X millions. Will that give it to me? Notice right here where the 3 targets are. I also look at this every time I step up to the game, and also when I'm trapped up a lot. I've already got 2 of these because you see that they're lit as it goes to the drumsticks. I don't have the drumsticks. This is similar to Walking Dead, how that works, right? Hit the target and they'll lock in. So because I've got ball save, and these are dangerous, this is another multi-ball. So if I can get the drum target, any one of them, it's going to lock it in. When I complete it, that multi-ball will be ready. This is the best multi-ball for La Via Strangiato because that is a single shot mode. So if you think about La Via Strangiato, single shot mode, this will stay single ball for a little while, 20 seconds, and then you'll be in multi-ball. And during that time, you can make those single shots if you want. And that's when I would normally stack that. So that said, I am looking at my Time Machine multi-ball. Since I already got 1, it's 10 more hits. That's gonna not happen anytime soon. I need 1 more pick target here to light the ramp. And got million in bonus. So what I'm looking for is what do I have ready in terms of my weapon. So snakes and arrows for the Far Cry multi-ball, and then power windows, which is going to be big money. So it just so happens the upper loop, the color is pink, which is for big money. So that's perfect. I can go ahead and hit the upper loop on the plunge, come around. Hopefully I can hit like the side ramp, or if I hit the scoop, it'll kick out usually on the right flipper and then go to the left. I'm going to try to hit that pick target head on if I've got ball save, and then try to get control, get the ramp, and then start the mode, and then Far Cry. And then that'd be pretty good if we can do that. All right. Partially to plan. So I've got big money ready. You see it right there. I'm going to still go for that pick target, but this time, instead of just trying to hit it head on because I don't have any ball save, I'm going to go for the spinner. It'll come around, and the spinner is also going to give me another same color as big money that we've already got ready. So we'll go to like 10% for value for the shots. Kind of immaterial, but there's some extra benefits. I don't need to get into the detail as you like have multiple records the same color. Again, not consequential enough. Like there's some rules in the rule sheet, which is like 15 pages. You don't need to know all that stuff. It seems like this is already a lot, but there's a lot of little scoring things that just aren't going to matter. Of course, when you lose by 5,000 in a tournament, you wish you knew that stuff, but you shouldn't be losing by that little, I think. So usually that goes around. It didn't go around. So a little late on that. Oh, it'll pick here. Again. Oh man, you saw that? So that's pinball. So it rolled all the way up. I do have a 1 second on the scoop. Some on location games will not have any ball save on the scoop. Kick out, usually it's like 1 or 2 seconds. I always think any venue should have it set to like 1 or 2, probably 2. I only have it set to 1 on mine, and you saw how it rolled up, and that's the frustrating part of pinball, right? Alright, so player 3 comes up. If I'm stepping up, I'm player 3, and I'm paying attention. The other thing is people walk away.
Hey, are you gonna play?
I like to watch what the player's doing to see. I'm not sitting there like drain, drain, drain like sometimes you do on ball 3, right? I'm watching to see what progress they made. The score almost is not as important unless it's really big. I'm just looking at what progress they made. So I already know player 2 has potential to get 150 million without just easily. Of course, we'll see if I do it as player 2, right? So, but if I'm in strikes, I'm not as worried about player 2 because I'm just trying to beat player 1, who's currently the highest, and player 4 is behind me. So, let's see where I'm at progress-wise. And if you're behind some really good player who like plays for 10 minutes, or you've been talking to someone in between everything, then you may forget what you've already done. So that's why I like taking a minute, because some players just come up and just go ahead and plunge right away, and like they forget where they're at and what's going on with the game. So Limelight's ready. No progress on multi-ball. When I start the mode, I'll get progress. I'm just going to, again, go for the combos. It's ball 2. I can afford to do that on ball 2. Ball 3, my options are fewer. Missed it, but now my plan B is to try to get the big money combo. So I didn't mean to do that, so I started the mode, and that's part of why I'm doing this, is because like you'll have stuff that you don't mean to do, and you gotta adjust, right? You gotta adapt. So I started the mode, didn't mean to do it. Now I've got 3 more shots for the multi-ball. I have to go ahead and hit the time machine because it's my own rule of I've got the 1, 2, 3 combo for big money. So if I collect that and I drain out of this ball, my goal in ball 3 is going to be able to start big money with or without multi-ball, and use the weapon when I need to. Oh, I missed that. Didn't mean to do that, the way that ball behaved. Alright. Let's try to hit it. There we go. Alright, notice that I did that little flick and got that pick target. Limelight timed out, that's fine. I'm going to stick with actually, so here's what changed. I have power windows for big money, and if you don't remember, it says it right there, big money, right? So a lot of this stuff you don't have to remember, you just have to remember to use instant info. I don't have big money lit, so the weapon's not going to matter right now. I'm 2 shots from time machine multi-ball. So when I make this 1 shot to relight the limelight shots, I'm going to only be 1 shot away from the multi-ball. It's going to default to red barchetta. I'm going to try to get it back here so I can hit the dead end, so I could change it to subdivisions where I could get more points. Okay, so that gave me 2. That spotted both instead of 1, so that's good. But again, red barchetta is what it's showing. Always, again, if you could control, you got to look at that screen. You have to assess here. You might need to do instant info. If you're just in a hurry, you're not going to be able to, you're going to miss these things. You're going to miss the opportunities of what to do next. I'm going to hit the dead end. I'm going to try to slow it down, post catch it, so I can then start the multi-ball I want. Double check, subdivisions. Alright. And just try to make the most of trying to finish this mode and focus on getting the add-a-ball when I'm ready, but I gotta start the multi-ball like jackpot qualification, which is shooting the time machine, which I did. And now you're going for the red shot, and then 1 or 2 red shots, and then the time machine, 1 or 2 red shots, and then I get the add-a-ball by accident. But, you know, better than not getting it. I'm going to get control because the ball save is gone. That wasn't good. And I'm holding on to this. I'm not letting go. I'm going to try to stage that. Not the best. I'm not the best stage flipper, especially on the fly.
Period.
Didn't mean to do that. Alright, so instead of using the left, I want to use the right. At least on the LAN Premium. Because I'm going to go to the dead end, it's going to return. I'm going to try to slow it down, hit the time machine. I'm going to try to repeat that as much as I can, because in subdivisions, if you just hit that time machine, hit a red shot, time machine, eventually you're going to get the super, and the super is pretty good. So I'm at 43. I'm looking at where I'm at score-wise while I'm trapped up, seeing where I'm at compared to player 2. Obviously, I want to be higher than player 2, but player 2 has a lot of potential. And so does player 1 to some extent, but not as much. There's that post catch. Now, I'm going to hit the time machine. Most rushes, if you don't use that upper flipper and let the ball come down, it usually will not come down very well. Like some games, it'll come right to the right flipper, but not on rush. So what do I do when I hit the time machine here is I can try to hit the left ramp and then post pass this over and try and juggle everything, or just kind of just hold on with the left and wait. And that's kind of what I'm going to do, is just like flip the upper and see what happens. Try and hit that loop, get some points. Alright, now I'm back. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the dead end. Keep an eye on the jackpot points. So that was like 1.9. Now the time machine. Oh, that kicked out weird. So it's real early, and now that's good. Because now what do you do in a tournament? I think everybody knows you can't let it sit. So now I could try to shake it, but in reality, in a tournament, you're not going to shake this out. You're going to be too worried about tilting, so I've got to hit the ball here. You don't need to call the tournament director if you just go ahead and free it up right away. I'm not in any kind of hurry up or time on out situation, so I'm going to hit it and hope that I don't get a drain or a double drain. Alright, that was good. A lot of these rushes, when you do a quick flip, when you have 2 on the right, will go in here, and it'll auto plunge, but you can try to manual plunge it short, because when it auto plunges, it's going to come around here. If you're good at staging, right, which I did a really poor job there, I was just trying to show it, there we go, then you can try to short plunge it and then try to stage that. But I'm going to go ahead and try and put it in here, but if I miss, I don't want this ball to go away. I don't want a double drain. Nope. But that works out. If I would have hit the shot. Now it didn't work out, so now I could get one for the road, but look at what's happened now with the one for the road, and I rushed it. Okay, so I finished the mode. I'm just trying to get control. The good news is I didn't hit any shots. So notice how they're all flashing rainbow color. This is where I want to hit the dead end, because that's, to me, the first shot I always want to go for when I have 2x, because it's going to give you 2x. That's the shot. It's your bailout shot. It's just an easy shot. Especially on this, it's the safest shot. So, and if I decide to start with Spirit of Radio, I'm going to get double value. All right, where are we? We're at 68. Player 2, 68. So I'm happy, but I'm not comfortable. So we just saw I had like 5 million in bonus, and big money is the weapon. And you can see in the upper left, I only need 1 record. It does increase as you get into the modes. And so I only need 1 to qualify, 1 more, because this is, I already hit the dead end. So if I hit number 2, I will qualify big money, which I have the weapon for. Now what I'm looking at is shoot ramp to light lock. I don't have any Far Cry locks. And I need 9 more for multi-ball for the time machine. I've only got 1 instrument solid, and it's not even solid actually. I have to hit that target to get it solid. So I'm in like multi-ball jail right now. So this doesn't matter too much to me, this number 2 and getting that qualified. But this is where things get a little interesting and complex, I guess. Is one reason I may do this instead of post passing over to get the lock here is because that is the leftmost shot. And so I do want to get big money qualified. However, at this point, because it won't be easily overridden because it's the leftmost shot. It locks in that color until you get 2 of the same color elsewhere or more. But I'm too far away from multi-ball. It's ball 2. I'm at the same score as player 2, except for I've got 5 million. In case you're not aware of how it's 2x, the first 100 spins, once qualifies 2x at the upper loop, then it's 200 spins more and 300. So bonus in the older version of Rush, like over a year and a half ago, was very high, but they nerfed that, so it's not that high. So I don't worry too much, but 5 million's not nothing. So I'm going to post pass over and just try to focus on getting that multi-ball ready. There's that post catch. Again, most rushes, I really practice it. It's so useful. That was not useful, but that's again, this game is playing fast because I shouldn't have cleaned it. So it's playing a little faster than like what you would see on location unless they just wax the game. But that's all right. It does illustrate our point because that's what happens in tournaments. Is stuff happens. So where are we at with player 4? So I did get the moving pictures qualified. 3 away from regular multi-ball. Ball 2, I'm looking at the first 2 players, not that far away, but actually. And player 1, pretty low. So I'm not as worried about Far Cry right now. I gotta get that main multi-ball to start. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Then the question is, should I still go for the inner loop to get Spirit of Radio versus trying to get the combo not the combo, but to get the Far Cry lock lit. And so it's ball 2. I'm not too worried about the Spirit of Radio, so I'm going to go ahead and try for the left ramp or the scoop, and then go ahead and try and light that lock. Alright, so I was able to flick that. Now notice the 2 here and the 2 here, because I hit the ramp. If you go back to instant info, you will see you're looking for right ramp, because I already got right ramp. None of those are right ramp, so you go to the next one. I already have moving pictures. It doesn't show it now, but it was right ramp and left spinner. So what's left? There's 2 options. Signals, which I'm not worried about getting the add ball there, because that's an add ball for that signals multi-ball, which is subdivisions. But look at hemispheres. Hemispheres is the only 2-shot combo. You hit the right ramp and then you hit the right orbit. That is for La Via Strangiato. So right now I'm not going to go for 2 because the lock is my priority. But I don't know, let's say I was in La Via or it was queued up and I didn't think I could change it, then I would be very seriously considering the number 2. So that way it would come around, try and get a hold of it and collect it. And then use it. And you're only going to spot 1 shot in La Via. So you really, if you do have that weapon, you really want to do it to stack with a multi-ball. Not what I had in mind, but I didn't try to start it. I got 2 more for the time machine multi-ball. I do have the weapon. I'm going to try to do the quick flip here and try and get that pick target. So success, but not success. So that's ready. That's queued up. I'm going to want to use my ball save to try to do what I want to do, which is get the lock. Player 1 and player 4 are in a very similar situation. So what am I doing now? I'm looking at everything, right? Subdivisions is ready. I need 1 record, so I got to figure out what mode. Instant info. I have moving pictures weapon, okay? So what I don't want to do is hit any color other than green or light blue. There's no light blue, which is Tom Sawyer, which is where I could use the weapon. So, conveniently, Limelight's lit at the loop. So when I plunge, I'm going to try to hit that, and then when it comes around, I'm going to try to get one of the skill shots to extend ball save, right? So if I get Limelight, I'm going to be able to use the weapon when I start the mode. The issue is, notice how the multi-ball's ready. So, again, this is where things get interesting because I cannot do Far Cry and the mode at the same time. Because I have to start the mode at the time machine and multi-ball's ready. So I have to decide, and it's ball 3, so there's not much decision. I'm not going to try to get too fancy and like get Far Cry with the mode. I'm going to go for Limelight. Try to get control, start it, and I'm going to start subdivisions with Limelight. And I'll have the weapon, and then I'm going to use the weapon in there because it's ball 3. Even if I don't think I could get ahead of 2 or 3, I need to get ahead of 4 if it's a match play situation. You don't want last, right? So, and make them work for it. And if things go well, might be able to get ahead of 2 or 3 or both, and then they need to do a little bit to catch up.
Machine is ready. Prepare to fire.
Alright, so we got that. First thing I'm going to do, since it's subdivisions, hit the time machine so I could activate the red shots for jackpots and progress towards the super. Keeping an eye on my ball save because I want to get the add-a-ball at the mystery, and you don't want something like that to happen. So that was good timing in terms of I got that done. Time machine, and I'm not worried about mode shots, by the way. I'm all about just getting the multi-ball jackpots. And I should be trying to get control, which I didn't do. And I almost used the weapon. I probably should have used the weapon there for that, because I would have gotten some more points. The hesitation was, look how close I am to Far Cry. This is where just remembering where you're at in the game. So I could have just pulled the ripcord and said, okay, well, I'm going to get... It would have only spotted 1 or 2 shots. And I wasn't far enough along to get the super, which might have been like 20 or something. So maybe I'd have increased my score 3 million. Right now, it's not going to matter, because look where 2 and 3 are. It might matter to 4, but I have to play to win, right? Even though a lot of times you're playing not to be 3rd or 4th in a strikes, or in a fair strikes, you don't want to be last. So all I need to do is hit this shot, and because I'm in the mode, even though I'm at 80%. So this is another wrinkle. I'm at 80% of progress with Limelight. If I hit the time machine, it will relight all the shots. If I hit 2 shots that are 10%, it's going to qualify at the time machine to complete. I don't want to complete the mode. I want to use the weapon to complete the mode while I'm in the multi-ball. But if I start the multi-ball, which would be Far Cry, because I don't have enough here, and look, I'm 10 away from time machine. If once I start Far Cry, I have to use the weapon like right away, because otherwise, just by flipping around, I'm probably going to complete the mode. Once I complete the mode, this is gone. Bye bye. So I want to at least get. It'll probably give me 7 or 8 of the 15 shots in Far Cry, and you'll see a pretty big pop of the score. So it would be really nice to be able to do that. But it's need a few things to go right. So I'm going to post pass. I'm going to hit the ramp, and then try to get it in the scoop. The first time you do Far Cry, both of these are lit. To get mystery lit, you need the 3 in lanes. This in lane is not lit, but as soon as you hit the dead end on a premium LE, it will light. On a pro, you got a little more challenge. So a lot of times what will happen is, if I have mystery already lit and I have Far Cry ready, I'm not trying to hit the bottom, because mystery's lit. I don't want mystery to be awarded, so I want to go ahead and have it go around and do this shot, which is risky. Hold this up, have it go in there if mystery was lit. Since it's not, I can shoot for this or here once I shoot that. And once I shoot this ramp, if the ball's probably going to be going too fast, and I'm not sure I want to risk that. So I'd probably go ahead and go for the time machine, because that's an easy shot. It'll come around nice and slow, and then I will hopefully be able to hit that, and we'll see. That's all the stuff. I think a lot of you think about like that in certain games. Obviously it's subconscious, right, or conscious. You're not thinking or talking out loud, I should say, like I am. So it maybe seems like not as complicated as when you're talking about it out loud. Like I said, sometimes it'll come up there. This is not super tight, as you can tell, so it allowed me to hop it over. Alright, so I missed the time machine the first time, but not on the second. Now we're in good shape. Like I said, I got to hit this as soon as I can. I'm going to go ahead and nail it right now. Oh, there it is, 28 million. Completed the mode. Notice Far Cry multi-ball on the up right there. It says 8 shots left. It gave me 7 shots, like I thought. So it gave me the first 7. If I get the other 8, I'll be in victory, and I'm up to 83. And I started before I pressed that button. Right, I was much lower. So I just want to start hitting these shots, and these jackpots are pretty good. safe's running out. Get down there. Rejection. Rejection. One for the road. Oh, got it under the grace period. So you see the ramp will give me a shot. I'm getting close. I can't see it, but I know I'm getting close. One more.
I'll handle the keyboard in case you handle.
There it is. So now I'm in, there's 15 million for the super. And now that's the power of the weapon, as you can see. Now I'm in one little victory multi-ball. Oh, terrible though. That's how my multi-balls have been going, but I'm up to 142 just like that. And that's really what I've been talking about, is you're trying to, remember, what I start the ball at? 16? Doesn't matter. If you've got things queued up the way you want, and you know these nuances, that's where everyone's like, oh, I feel pretty good about my 68 or 74, and then now they're like, they gotta, bite their fingernails and say, dang, what do I do now? All right, so I've got this multi-ball. Notice all these white shots. So the white shots, any of those shots are gonna reset the targets. If I, let's see where I'm at. 2 million, almost 3 million bonus. No combos. Spirit of Radio, 20%, it's ready. This is why you trap up. Like, I didn't know I was queued up for Spirit of Radio. That happens during multi-ball. Once you complete a mode, you're in multi-ball, you're hitting shots, it's qualifying your next record, your next album, I should say. And it's all those record shots. So now I see, oh, gee, man. Spirit of Radio's ready. My easy shot here to add another 10% is already solid, so I may as well just start the mode. I've got 9 shots to multi-ball. That's far away. And Far Cry's far away. So ideally what I want to do is when I start the mode, I have to decide, okay, 68, 74, that 68 can catch this 142 based on what they have going, right? What progress and what's ready to go. So if you had to win, right, let's say it was game 3 and you were tied with player 2 and the other 2 players had really low points in a 4-2-1-0 or something, and winning will allow you to win, then you might still be fine if they don't execute, right, player 2 or 3, or you want to get control and win and wait until the drumsticks are flashing, lock it in and try to get that multi-ball while you're in the mode. So with Spirit of Radio being ready, it is lucrative, so it might just make sense to hit a few shots and just hit all 5 shots in the dead end, and just that'll probably get another 20 million or something on the low end if I got all 5 shots. It won't let you do 5 in a row, so you got to hit something else. But right now, goal is start it, then see what I want to do. And don't miss. Also, coming back from the time machine, for players who are still kind of more new with some, notice the quick flip when the ball hits it, so you don't always need to like get it perfect for a live catch. You do that quick flip. Again, this isn't, the pros know all this stuff, but I'm assuming some players who are trying to get better may not know some of the little things, but those quick flips allow the ball to kind of go straight up and come back down slow, so you could get control. And you can see control is so important in this game. And as is, not missing and hitting your shots. So I'm going to go for the loop because it'll give me a shot. It'll give me some points. And it'll come back to the right. So let's see how that goes. And then try to deal with this later. Almost. Alright. So this is pretty much where I want to be. I've got a decision as to do I want to go for this shot, which will come around and hit that. I already know it's going to give me like 1.5 million. Or am I really going for the win? So I'm going to wait until this is on the drumsticks. I'm going to shoot it. You got options. Like if you shoot low, it likes to bank here and go here. Knowing where the ball's likely to go on those dangerous shots and trying to be ready and nudge is something that, you know, even I'm still working on. Sometimes I know that I should have been ready and I wasn't ready enough with the nudge. If you watch like Jason Zoller, his timing of his nudges, he doesn't always hit the nudge hard, but the timing is down to the microsecond. And that's what you need if you don't, like I'm not a big guy, right? So for me to nudge, it's not easy. So some people who are bigger, they just like kind of just doing almost nothing, the whole game shakes, right? So the timing of your nudges, if you can nail that, it does a lot of what you need to do, and it compensates from a nudging skill standpoint. And again, one thing I didn't quite get into is when I wasn't as good, and I'm not saying I'm great, but I'm better than I was, right? When I wasn't that good, one way I was able to beat better players is exactly what I'm talking about in this game, is the superior like knowledge of the game and having the right strategy, and then also from a situational standpoint. So if you're, you know, making your way in tournaments and you want to improve, and you're watching this, you can see how beneficial, if you know some of this stuff is, because some of the better players are not executing to this degree, right? So I'm going to go for this as soon as it's on there. Oh, before I do that, I can nick the top. If I nick that top one, it may still go through this lane. So sometimes I go for that, but I got to hit them all anyway right now. So I'm just going to make sure I hit these and see what happens. I called it. So it could have been a smarter play, would have been trying to go higher, because then I would have still had the ball in play and gotten more points instead of risking it like I did, but I still wasn't ready. All right. 147, 68, 74. Let's see where we're at here. 1 million in bonus. So power windows and Far Cry. So I need the pick target. If I execute, I should be able to beat the 147. So the big money's ready, right? You see it in the upper left. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not even going for the skill shot. I'm still going to have some ball save. There are times in certain tournaments where the ball saves off unless you make one of those shots. So like paying attention to those things is really important. But most tournaments, like smaller tournaments, the ball save's still going to be on for a little bit. So I'm going to use it to hit this. And if I drain right away, so be it. But then it's going to light the lock. I already have one lock. You could also see it up there. So all I want to do is hit this, get the lock, start the mode, and then start Far Cry. And then I'll use the weapon like I did in Player 1, and we'll see where we end up. So I did hit that target. Should bounce over. Oh. So, yeah, because it ended up in the scoop. So, again, Pro plays a little different in terms of this behavior. So what I'm going to do now is when I plunge, I want to try to hit this side ramp because it's going to bring the ball back to this flipper so I can hit the ramp. It'll come around. I'm going to try to hit the time machine. It'll then come around here and I'll try to hit that. So that's the whole thing that I'm already mapping out. And when you map out the shots in advance like that, you're not surprised no matter how fast the ball goes or whatever. You're already knowing what you're doing. And if you just kind of relax, which is sometimes hard in tournaments, especially the finals, because you already know what you're doing 2 or 3 moves ahead, I just personally find I'm way more accurate and likely to hit the shots. So it's good practice to kind of think through that instead of just getting up there and flipping away.
Use the scoop to collect the cards.
Nope, shouldn't have done that. Gotta watch this feed. Ah, shit. I'll take that. Oh, I had the extra ball lit underneath the flipper, which I got lucky there. So I didn't mention it. Extra ball's 10 million. Usually it's here. It's very rare to get it there on purpose. Unlike Star Trek, doing that under flipper shot from the left flipper is really hard on this machine. I rarely am able to do it on purpose, but on Star Trek it's easier. So I got lucky. It's there. It gave me 10 million for extra. Obviously, if you have extra ball here and you're behind 10 million, if I was like at 140, I want that extra ball beyond everything else. I'm prioritizing that. So what I'm doing now, if I hit one of these two shots, the scoop or the ramp, it's going to give me like 5-second ball save. Again, that's not on the pro, if I recall correctly. So something to keep in mind. But I could be wrong there because it's been a little while since I played on the pro. So I'm going to short plunge, try to hit the ramp. It'll give me some ball save. Hopefully I won't miss the ramp this time, and I'll execute on what I was saying. I hit another shot over here, the right orbit, and it added 10% to the big money values, but that's immaterial, really. All right, I'll take that. Should bounce over. Missed. Ball save's running out. Missed. Alright. Time to do Bow and Karen's and look away and relax and not think about the shot. Even though it's not a tournament, if you're in front of the camera and talking about this stuff, you're feeling a little pressure, which I am. By the way, I see a combo at the dead end. This is what you need to do. Like when I'm trapped, I'm looking around. I was almost tunnel visioned here. So the combo, just completing a or collecting a combo will give you something like 1 million, 2 million, 1.5 million. It's not going to matter for player one because I'm at 91. But if I was at 145 and I'd look at, I got 1.45 in bonus, right? I'm doing the math. I'm like, oh, you know what? Instead of worrying about this, I'm going to go ahead and do that because at least I'll be ahead of player one. But that's not the case right now. So the thing is, I don't exactly remember what combo that is. So notice how there's no 3 lit anywhere. So what combo is that? Well, let's go to instant info and see what the dead end is on the last shot. And it's either Fly By Night or Clockwork Angels, because you see dead end is on the right. I just don't recall what I did to get there, and none of the others are that. So let me go back and see what that is.
Shannon wants to know if you said anything about combo time machine hits. Did you say anything about combo time machine hits?
I'm not understanding the question about combo time machine hits, but I will say that once you do the combo and qualify it, this super jackpot light will light, and if you hit that side ramp, you'll get a super. It's not that much. It's basically whatever the combo was, and if you stack 2 or 3 combos, it'll give you the total value in the super. So that loop, though, with the new code change, which has been a long time, you used to be able to loop all the time without it being lit and get 500,000, 600, 700, and then 1 million and 2 million and really get that going. It only is going to give you 500, 600, 700, etc. if it's lit, and the only way to light it is when you collect the combo. So that's certainly a thought. Like if I was 6 million or 5 million away, I might do that shot, have it come around, come here, go ahead and collect it, and then try to get it back up there so I can loop for a while. But you know, that loop depends on the machine and how good you are about, being a looper.
Sharon says if you hit the right ramp to the left ramp in lane, you get 2 time machine hits.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so what Shannon's talking about, thanks for joining us, Shannon, is when the ball comes through here on this left in lane, if the ramp is down and you shoot the time machine, it'll give you 2, it'll progress you 2 hits. And notice multi-ball says 10 more. If I did that, it would say 8 more when I hit the. So it obviously helps you get closer to the multi-ball when it comes through the left end lane. Thanks for that, Shannon. So all that talk, I'm still focused on this. So let's go. Just a hair late. They're early. That was trouble. Dr. Frank, I'm feeling the pressure, man. I gotta get this shot. And I gotta pretend it's not important. Alright, so I didn't want to hit the scoop because I don't have the mode yet. I'm not going to worry about, man, that 3 is so tempting. Because it's got big money, it'll give me a little extra, it'll be 20%, it'll come down here, I probably could post catch it. But it's like I'm 90% safe and 10% not. But look, I got 92, I'm too close to player 3 with 74. I'm a little far away from player 1, and it's not going to make enough difference. These are the situational play things that we're talking about, why it's called detailed situational play. Certainly given the detail, I think you'd agree. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to just go for the time machine. If I am successful, then I'm going to be able to hopefully hit here, and I'm off to the races. That's going to far outweigh worrying about that. Alright. So it's a beginning. I don't have to worry. This is going to give me add-a-ball because I got the snakes and arrows. So, and that's Far Cry. So what I want to do is get the add-a-ball at the scoop first because I can push the button anytime. You can't hit the scoop anytime. Especially when you really want to. So, and it's the beginning of big money. So what I don't want to do is finish big money and not even be able to use the weapon. So I'm just going to try to hit these shots and then see where I'm at when I get a chance. Alright. 13 more for Far Cry, you see, for the one little victory. It timed out on me, the shot, so I got to hit that the right ramp. So again, I've got this. I'm going to use it to get the add-a-ball. Guess what? I completed big money. And I didn't get to use the weapon, I think. So that was a big mistake. Yep, big mistake. Got the add-a-ball there. Now I'm just going for one little victory and just trying to get all the shots it says in the right. On a lot of these, you can backhand this, and it becomes more important than that multi-ball. And then a lot of times it'll pop over here. Let's see if that'll work. I'll just go that route. Oh, So now, this is what I like. We're at 141.8. Player 1's 147. It's ball 3. 3.3 bonus. So 141, 142, 145. I'm 2.5 million away. So how am I getting 2.5? I'm gonna go for the cubby hole there. I call it cubby hole sometimes, but the dead end. Complete that combo. It'll come around, try and get control, and start the mode and collect the combo. And that should give me the points I need to not be last for sure, because I'll be ahead of player 1. So again, like, so important to use instant info when you're really close. Slow things down. I didn't know exactly where I was because I was in the middle of all that chaos. See what my bonus is, and then see what options are available to me on the playfield. And don't miss. So that gave me enough without even collecting. With bonus, of course. And now I'm in trouble. Bounce. Alright, so now I want to create distance from player 3 and 4. So, looking at the playfield, this multi-ball, all I've got to do is complete those and not have that happen. Far Cry, I can get this locked, but I still need another one. So I'm not worried about that, and I'm 9 away from Time Machine. So I'm just going to go ahead and start Spirit of Radio. I'm not even going to worry about that now, because I'm already ahead of player 1. This will really skyrocket me if I get a Spirit of Radio with this. But what I want to do is get some points out of Spirit to create a little more distance, because that 74 million still is close. Who's behind me? I'm going to go for the upper loop, because and look, the super's lit there, and so I get some additional points with the looping, if I can do that. So the issue, again, what I did with this, I cleaned the playfield. So notice it's not coming out clean. It's not feeding clean on the upper flipper to allow the loop to occur on a over and over basis. So now, should I go for the jackpot collect? You've got 5 super jackpots, if you want to call it that, but it's really jackpots. These are just shots. So you can see in the upper left, 2.6 is the value. I do have the doubler on it, because even if I forgot, you can see it's blinking. So because I've got the doubler on that, when I hit it, it should give me 5.2. I'm going to do that instead of get greedy and start like trying to build it up yet, because I've got 5 of those shots. I'll just burn 1 or 2 right now, and I'll be at another 5-10 million, depending if I get a second one, which again gives me a little more breathing room to be ahead of player 3 and 4. And then I could gamble a little bit and try and build it up, or try to get the free will multi-ball there. Alright, so notice how I can't do a second one. Because I've got to hit something else. That was a rule change in the code maybe a year or 2 ago, or whatever it is. A year and a half ago. So I'm at 160. So I'm going to wait for this. I'm going to now not do what I did before and try to hit the top one and hope for the best. Missed. That's alright. Got some points. That whole thing was 6 million. Time machine was flashing. I'm just hitting the flashing light. So it goes ahead and gives me the 2022 benefits there. That's trouble. Alright. So let me try this again, try to hit the target. Oh, very nice. So I'm able to demonstrate a lot of the features of the game as it's been playing out. Notice I've got the ball save now, and it is changeable by the flipper. So what happens is when you complete the rush targets here twice, it will give you the ball save. It used to be easier, but it's not as easy anymore, because look, all the activity and where I'm at, and I finally got it. The first time it qualifies the right ramp for the Steel Day hurry up, which can be okay points. But the second time finishing it gave me the ball save. So now I'm less afraid of this. Because remember, player 1, I hit this and it went in this side. The ball save's over here. Since this changes on flipper flips, right? If I get one flip and I hit it, it's going to move it here. And if it does drain on the right, I'm going to get it back. So instead of hitting the tip, the upper one, I'm going to now go to the lower because I have that. So that's convenient. So I gotta wait though. So now I've locked it in, right? So if I hit those two, this multi-ball is going to be ready if I can hit that shot. Again, I want to make sure this is here, so when I flip, it'll be automatically lit. I don't have to worry about anything. Obviously, if it comes over here and goes over here, I got to be ready. Okay, try it again. Move it. See how it's going nutso? You can tell when it's doing this and that at the same time, so it's ready. It doesn't really give you an indication on the screen, because even down there you could see the drumstick and all of that. It's not telling us what we want. The other thing I didn't get into yet is I do pay attention to the clock on the right, the time. So you see it's 5:35 p.m. That's when you get to midnight, you get headlong flight multi-ball, which you see the multi-ball right there when that lights. But I'm way far away from that. I just happen, and it's pop hits, so I haven't gotten that many pop hits to even advance that much. So because of the way I've been playing this particular player. So very late shot, a little risky. I'm gonna go ahead and move this again, because if I miss, it could go anywhere. But let's see if I can hit it, and if so, what I'm gonna do then. And notice instant info, I'm up to 11 million in bonus. The jackpot value up there for Spirit of Radio is up to 5.8. And again, I have 2x on that. So I want to build that value up if I could get into multi-ball. And what's cool is I'm going to have single ball for 20 seconds that I can do that with pure safety. And by the way, in addition to the Add-a-Ball at Mystery, you get you can qualify a couple Add-a-Balls here. The first time you hit this twice. Now on the Pro, it doesn't lock it. It's a dead end or cubby hole. You hit it and it bounces out, so it can be dangerous. Obviously, multi-ball, you're not as worried about it, but on the LE and Premium, it will hold it. Bingo, bango, bongo. So now I don't want to hit the jackpot shot. I just want to hit other shots and build up the value. And I said it would be single ball. Yeah, now it's going to give me a single ball. And again, I'm avoiding the dead end because I'm just trying to hit other shots and build up that value. So now it released. I'm keeping an eye in my peripheral vision of the ball save. I'm not really doing a good job right now of everything, and because I wanted to make sure I got the Add-a-Ball there. So there's one shot there, by the way. So if I get one more, I'll have an Add-a-Ball. And a lot of times you can backhand it like I showed you earlier. So now I'm holding on to this. And I don't want to use the ball save if I can avoid it, but well, that's not good. So all my multi-balls, I think, this whole tutorial been not good. All right, so it's on the right. It says 9 million for the jack. So let's see, I'm at 174. So notice it gave me 18 because, like I said, that's why I don't like doing Spirit of Radio, like as my first mode. I want to complete another mode. I want to set that up for the 2x. So now that's 18. I'm going to get another one right now, another 18, if I don't miss. And I'm going to just keep going. Alright, so I can do one more. I'm at 231. Do I try to build it up? Or do I just take it, right? 12 million in bonus. Player 3, this is the other thing I haven't really talked about that much. I'll talk about it if, when I do the Game of Thrones video a little more. But now I'm thinking, okay, what is the capability of player 3? What type of player? What experience? Right? Down here I play with, everybody knows Sebastian Bobbio, right? If Sebastian's behind me, I am probably pushing because I am not safe. But if I'm playing another player where I know like they don't really know the rules too well, I was watching them play, they got lucky and kind of, got, say, Spirit of Radio and did a multi-ball and got a bunch of shots and was able to get 74 million. And I also know that they're kind of like in a bit of jail. They're far away from Far Cry and everything. Then I'm not needing to like really build up this value. I would just go ahead and take that. So knowing or assessing the players behind you, especially on ball 3, like where I'm at, is pretty important. The other thing is notice the yellow shot right here on the right orbit. That is a jackpot shot. Notice how there's no record lit, so that's not going to be a double value shot. So I can see that right now. It's just going to be a single value. Those jackpots are decent, like 6 million on up. So that's certainly an option, but it would be silly for me to give up a 18 million shot for a 6. What I really want to do is either go for the spinner and then the inner loop and then loop it and then do something with the ball after that, or post pass over, hit this, and then get in the scoop and then have it come across. So that's actually going to be, if I execute, it'll be a lot more lucrative because if I hit this, it goes into the scoop, it'll kick out here, bounce here, spinner, inner loop, and now I'm building that value up pretty good for the jackpot super or the jackpot collector. So I'm going to go that route. So I'm just going to gamble and try and go for some bigger points. All right, I partially executed there. Now you see it went up to 10.8 for the radio jackpot, so that's actually going to be 21 with the 2x, but I'm going to keep pushing. All right, it banked in there, 33.8 because of the 2x. So I'm up to 277. I'm feeling really good. Probably safe in most situations. Not, again, it depends on who's behind you. So now you see all the rainbow shots. I get 2x. This is not the time to still like take your foot off the gas. Sometimes I would do that. Like I'm like, oh, I'm got a pretty good score. And then I kind of like lose my focus a little bit and take my foot off the gas. And then sometimes someone beats you. So, you know, unless you know for sure the other players aren't going to catch you, you look at some of the best players, they just keep going and going and going. So, what do you do now? I got 14.8. Notice the 2x. That spinner should be really ready with the inner loop shot to collect to get it to 3x because I've been spamming that a bit. But it's not quite there because I just did that inner loop. So, for me, I think the spinner as the 2X is a good choice. My only hesitation, again, not taking my foot off the gas, let's assume player 3 was 400 million Earth, right? I need more. So the problem with that spinner is it's going to give me working man, and that's, like I said, not the best mode for points. Limelight would be nice. And notice how we're not talking about wizard modes on Rush. You're not likely to get wizard mode or mini wizard mode on Rush in competition. It's not gonna be that common. You could look up what it does, what it takes, because I don't want to get into that because this is about situational play. So I'm just deciding where the shot is. Obviously the time machine's lit. Notice now it's 3 records. So I don't have to worry about that working man will qualify the mode because I need 3 records. So as you get deeper in the game, the choice you make for the first shot or two isn't important as it relates to the mode. So I'm gonna go back to the spinner. Missed. I'll take that. Okay. Came in handy. Now I'll take the loop. Alright. 2 more. I don't know if the dead end, I think I still need it because it's flashing a little fast. And notice I need 2 records, so that's an easy one to get 1 more so I can get into a mode and start getting some more points. Let's see. Yep. So that gave me, notice, alright. So I don't know where I was in terms of what mode because I ended up losing a little control here. I shot that and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna try to get control. Now I got a combo. Probably signals. Let's see. Nope, permanent waves. Okay. So I'm gonna try to get control. So working man weapon. So if you're in a mode, you can go again to instant info and I'm like, okay, Rush, left, which is the album. And this is where if you don't know Rush and you don't memorize this and you don't have like it on your phone or a note card, you're not going to know, right? So but knowing that, left orbit, side loop, side ramp. I see all 1, so I know I didn't hit anything yet. So if I want to try to get the weapon for Rush, which I'm going to try to do, I'm going to go for the left orbit, then the side loop up here, and then the side ramp, and then collect. And then I'll have the weapon, and I can use it whenever. So the question is, when would I use it? Well, multi-ball's only 2 more hits now at the time machine. I'm not going to get Far Cry because I've got no progress. I've got no progress here. My clock is at 6:48 p.m. too far away. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get Working Man. Although it could be argued that Working Man weapon, it could be argued like I only need 2 more shots for Time Machine, multi-ball. So why not just take that and stop, trying to get the weapon and get, fancy. And again, it depends on what your situation is, who's behind you, what your points are. At this point, I'm far enough ahead. I'm not going to worry about it. Plus, it'll be kind of interesting to see if I can do this. So the issue is when you do this shot on the left orbit, the ball's almost always too fast. So it's really hard to try to get that inner loop. And if I miss, because it's so fast, it's going to mess up my Working Man combo. And I'm going to have to complete a combo before I can get another crack at this one. I'd have to complete whatever it is. So when you aim for a particular combo, and again, there's only a few out of the 10, right? Just a quick review. It's getting late, so I'm like, okay, where am I? Moving pictures, right? Right ramp, spinner, upper loop. And then snakes and arrows with the dead end, the left orbit, and the upper loop. Those are the two main ones that I worry about, along with the big money, which is going to be the spinner and the two inner loops. But those are the three I worry about. That's kind of what I memorize, with the exception of La Via, which is the right ramp and the right orbit. So I don't have them all memorized. I just got those four. So that's why I go back to instant info, and now just do this. And I'm not going to try to. I'm just going to hold the flipper up when I make the shot. I'm not going to try to hit those shots. I'm probably going to miss if I do. But now I'll try to get it over up top again, so I can make those shots. All right. So I got the multi-ball qualified, so I'm definitely going for that. I'm not going to worry about the well, you know, at this stage, let me just try to collect the combo and use the weapon there. It'll be fun if I can do it. And the worst case is I drain at this point. It's getting late.
Shoot the right ramp.
All right. I'm not worried about Bastille Day. It does the timer does stop if you don't hit anything. So all I need is this side ramp, and I should be able to get the weapon. I hit it earlier and it rejected. So I'm flipping too fast, so I need to just give it a little hesitation. Alright, so I've got the weapon here. With this mode, there's no reason to wait. I'm in Fly By Night, so I'm just going to use it. Notice the points, 35 million right there. And then that's going to raise the value of all the jackpots for the multi-ball. So now I got add a ball. And look, I think I'm at like, I think 100 million already just by doing that. Alright, so this kind of reminds me of like reverse Game of Thrones, where Game of Thrones, when you've got winners coming, it kind of, the lights seizure like tests you for seizure because it's going crazy. But now I can't see anything, so it's like the opposite in Fly By Night. So when everything's like really dark, that's when you're really close to the super. But it's not lit at the time machine. But the ramp is up. Again, on Premium LE, that's a thing where, meaning what I'm going to do is on the right, I'm going to hit the time machine and it should go around instead of push it back down. The ball should go around to the upper right flipper so I can hit one of the red shots there. So preferably the upper loop and then the side ramp. Okay, so that super is lit, and so I got it under. It's only 8 million, but I got it. Okay. So at this point, I think I've made my point, and so I'm going to just go ahead and drain this ball once I see how many points I have, right? 462. So I'm just going to drain this. So if I'm player 3, I need to see where I'm at and see, okay, well, I'm worried about player 4. Player 4 has some progress. Player 1, I need to double my score for player 1, so to catch player 1. And player 2, I'll worry about that once I get past player 1. So big money. And the only big money record available to me right now is the left orbit. The issue is without a multi-ball, it's going to be a little difficult to catch player 1 with just the mode. So, but it's doable, especially with the weapon. So, I'll still try to get this lock because that I probably can get Far Cry and stack it. That the decision is, can I get far enough? Can I double my score and get over 147 with the mode and the weapon alone? And when I think about the scoring potential, it's close. It's actually close with big money. So that's something that in this situation you'd have to really think about and say which way do you want to go. So I'm gonna just like play a little bit and see. Obviously I'm gonna try to qualify that first and then see where I'm at and make a decision. Alright, so notice what happened. All the records changed colors, and there's no big money on the play field. On the right, it looks close, but that's La Via. So I don't have it available, and if I go ahead and hit the left ramp, sorry, the left orbit, I'm going to qualify Spirit of Radio, but I'll get a lock too. And again, I just need to beat 147. So you can see how things changed. The weapon with big money would have been great, but you saw what I did with Spirit of Radio, and I have the 2X here. So because I have the 2X, this is also the far left shot. Tom Sawyer right now you could see is qualified, light blue. Again, looking at the play field, on to the right of here is the only blue. If there were two of them, light blue already solid, then I'd be like, well, I'm not going to be able to change it. By the way, more obscure rules, you can change the qualified mode, which you see in the upper left, with this shot over here behind the drops. So that is doable. But nothing I need to worry about now. So I'm going to go for the left orbit, hold up this flipper, hope it goes into the lock, and then see where I'm at. It should qualify Spirit of Radio, and then I want to collect it. I mean, go ahead and get it started, and then see if I can hit some shots there, multi-ball or not. Alright, so that didn't work out too good because now look, it changed. So since it changed, the only good thing is now we're back to big money up there. So this is how dynamic this game is. This is why this tutorial and understanding these things allows you to adapt to what's on the playfield in the situation so you can achieve what you want to achieve. Not that I can't get 147 with La Via, but you know, it depends how accurate you are with shots, because you've got to stack a lot of shots in a row. And I can get the weapon there with number 2 if I wanted to. If I had Far Cry ready, which I don't because it's only the first lock, I would consider trying to get that number 2 so I can have the weapon so I can stack it, but I'm not. So what am I going to do? I don't want to hit the time machine because it's going to start Tom Sawyer. So I'm going to go for the spinner. Yes, it will hit Working Man. It'll go ahead and qualify Working Man. But this is probably going to change. So let me just... I have to do something. And... If I go for the left orbit, it's not gonna be my best option, I don't think, for me. All right, we'll take that. That's even better. I mean, that's lucky. So, since I didn't hit anything, I do now still have big money there. So that's perfect. Because remember, I got the weapon. So if I could hit it. Post catch. Now if I go ahead and start big money, now I can. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start big money. I have the weapon. I'm gonna still go for Far Cry so I can stack it because I still have player 4 behind me. Still needs quite a bit to catch me. If I use the weapon, if I end up draining, I could still use the weapon as long as I hit it quick enough, and it'll spot all the shots. So I'll still be able to pick up some points, maybe 10 million to 20 or 30 million, depending on when I do it, with big money on the weapon, so as it's draining, if I do it quick enough. So I'm willing to gamble and go for Far Cry and try and go for the big points and blow past player 1. So I'm going to try to do these quick flips, try to qualify the lock shot. Got one of them.
Sorry, this game doesn't have Monopoly now.
Don't. Oh yeah. We're in business. So I got to be careful not to complete big money without using the weapon. So I'm going to make a shot. I'm going to make some shots here. Notice round 2 of 3 and how many shots I need. So I want to get it to the 3rd round before I shoot it. I mean, use the weapon, I mean.
Alex is a guitar hero.
Uh-oh. Attaboy? Okay. Phew. So I'm at 3 of 3, so I'm going to use it. 20 million. Far Cry didn't do a lot, but... Well, par for the course. Now I'm in trouble because, look, I got 132, I need 147. That didn't give me as much as I had hoped. So I had 2.6 in bonus. Notice the award value. 3.7, and it says 1x big money lit. So if I hit the time machine now, it's going to end the mode. I'm going to get 1x, meaning 1 times 3.7. That's not going to get me to 147. I'm only going to be at 130, almost 136 plus bonus. 37, 38, almost 139, and I need 147. As soon as I hit the dead end shot, it's going to say 2x big money lit. I'm going to get 3.7, just I think for the shot, and then that's going to be 7. Actually, there's a double or 2x on that shot, so I should end up with like 7 if I hit it. So 132 plus 7, 7.4, 139, and not enough with bonus, but when I hit that, I should be able to, if I could post catch it, decide what I want to do next, which is probably end the mode, and that should get me past 147. And this is the kind of thought process that makes a difference. I mean, how often are you knocked out of a tournament, like a match play by 1 or 2 points, or a strike? You know, I can't afford to get a strike. Like if I drain right now, I get a strike if it was a strikes tournament. So this matters. Oh, that didn't, nope. So that didn't give me the value. It gave me, so it only gave me like a million or whatever. So the award value up here, 3.7, is for when you collect the mode. So that'll give me 133 plus 7. It'll give me 140, and I've got only 2.6. So the issue is, I need, if I get one more shot, it will give me 3 times the value. So that's 9, 10, 11. It'll be close enough. Actually, if I can make this shot and hold the right flipper up and it does go into the side scoop, it'll bounce over, it'll come here, and if I collect, and if I hit the time machine, I'll beat the 147. So that's like my tournament life, right? If it was strikes and it was my last strike, it's down to this one shot to get ahead of player 1. No pressure. So it's 4x big money. So 4 times 3.7, 14. And let's see where we're at. Plus I get some ancillary points for that. 149. Bingo, bango, bongo. Phew! I survived for another round. So I started at 74. So you see how you can use what I'm sharing with you to achieve the results that you want. And it's really satisfying because it's not like you're doing one thing. Like, it's a puzzle. So it's a really satisfying game from an intellectual standpoint. Obviously, also with all the skills and the physicality of it. So now, I still have to worry about player 4. I'm not out of the woods yet. And if you're tired of this video, we're down to ball 3, player 3, so we're getting there. It's almost over. So we've got the 2x shot lit. So what I want to do is create distance for player 4, and then I'm so far behind player 2 at 498. So that's almost 350. That I'm going to have to do quite a bit to get there. I know what I would do to get there. No sense getting into it here. I've covered a lot of things, and a lot of what I've covered, you could basically think about and use to get the 350 that you would need. So also you can see the modes that are lit solid and what is blinking. So I think Spirit of Radio is going to be the way to go. This shot will, I've already got 2x there. I'm not going to worry about 2x anywhere else, but this will qualify Spirit of Radio, except I need 3 records. But this being the most left shot, it's going to allow me to have a good chance of getting that one ready, and that's where I would want to be to create distance. So I need one more. No. There it is. All right. So working man, because you see the spinner shot, and I really don't want working man. Would have been nice if it was Spirit or Radio. So my options are like hit another shot, like the ramp. I can't hit the right orbit because it's going to now have 2 working man shots that are solid, and now that's going to take precedence over everything else unless I get a different color that's 3. My other option is if I hit this target and then somehow am I able to hit this, it'll change working man to a different option. But I'm just going to go for the ramp. It's going to still stay. Well, when I do that, it's probably going to give working man 20%. So then at that point, that'll make. Let me just do that for the heck of it. But I'm pretty sure this is a bad idea. Well, notice how it's flashing. The rush is flashing. So Bastille Day's ready. So if I hit that and then hit a few of these targets, it will give me a little distance. It'll add up to some millions depending on how many times I hit. So I'm already ahead of player 1. Player 2, it's going to be real hard to catch. So I'm looking at player 4 and just trying to create some breathing room. So that's what I'm going to do.
Happy Bastille Day, everyone.
Okay.
The portal ramp is ready. We'll make the jump.
So what I was trying to do is hit the ramp again, because that'll increase the value and reset the hurry up for Bastille Day, but I missed it. Now I've got extra ball lit, so we know that's 10 million. So instead of me going for the right ramp, I'm going to get it on the right so I can do the left orbit to upper flipper and try and collect that 10 million again to make player 1 work that much harder. I just shot that because it was safe. I should have went for the right ramp to lock that. So now I'm in working man, but so be it. So now I'll make the most of it.
Multiplier advanced.
All right, so let's see how close. I got 4 shots for multi-ball. So 4 shots, and I may as well stack it. I'm at 177. I was just at like 150. Okay, 3. I knew that was... So, I shot it a little later than usual, and so that caused the ball to kind of rattle in there and go farther toward the middle, and I misjudged it because it did hit the left flipper. So I could have saved that, but if I would have shot it more consistently early on the flipper, it would have returned back to this flipper. Alright, so almost done. Player 4, you step up. You're kind of iced out, right? Although I've been talking, otherwise it wouldn't have been as long. But certainly player 2 took up some time. So let's see where we're at. 2 more for multi-ball. Only $1 million in bonus.
Hey, Hoser.
But I've got both La Via and Moving Pictures in terms of weapon. So I believe I can catch 147 if I can choose the right mode, which has to be Limelight. So I'm fortunate because remember, Moving Pictures is the weapon that I have. So if I get Limelight, I'm going to get the lock. So basically what I want to do is hit this ramp. It'll come around, hit the right ramp. It's going to give me the second lock qualified. Qualify Limelight because I only have 1 record. It's going to return the ball here. I like to start the mode. When I start the mode, this will be lit, blinking. If I could put it in there, now I'm going to have the stack I want. Nope, that was not ideal. Notice how, like, when you're having a bad game, like, the best plans and just everything, nothing works out. So, I need to get 133. So, I can't hit the time machine because it's going to start big money. If I hit the spinner, it's going to definitely lock in big money. I really wanted Limelight, and I'm not going to get it. And I could use Tom Sawyer, because that also, Limelight and Tom Sawyer are both, again, you don't have to memorize everything. There it is, under moving pictures. So if I hit this shot, let it go into the scoop, kick out, make the ramp shot, I'm back into more or less the same stack I want. Tom Sawyer is not the best for the multi-ball because you're in multi-ball, it's kicking the balls, and this shot is one of the shots you need to in the first round because it's a 3-round multi-ball. The issue there is it won't give you credit while the balls are kicking out. But I've got limited options, realistically. What some players will do is be like, let me just do something and just get it going. Do, you know, like, and it's a harder path. So I'm picking the path that will be much higher percentage, although there's a little risk in just getting it started. So notice it just missed going in the scoop. That's fine. I'll just post pass and try again. Notice Spirit of Radio's there, but this is already taken precedence, and I'm already at 10 plus 10%. So I'm going for the ramp. Or nah. Well, I will after this. So unceremonious end to this 4-player game. If I would have saved that, I believe I could have got 147 if I would have had a chance, but I wasn't quite ready for that. And that's how sometimes these tournament games go, right? And you're like everyone else blowing it up, and then there's a 25 or 12 or whatever. So with that, hopefully you saw how cool this game is. How so much going on and so many decisions to make. So hopefully it was helpful to you. I'll leave with one little story. Some of you will get it. On the LEs, John Borg has his initials here, and I was at Pinball at the Beach, and that's a great show. If they do it again next year, I encourage you to go. And so I'm talking to John and another colleague of his from Stern. They're there. I walk up to John and I'm like, I've got a complaint about my Rush LE, and they're like, okay. They're like, oh, here we go, right? And then I go, someone wrote on my game, JD beat me. And then they cracked up because they knew what I was talking about. So, little silly story for the wrap up here. So with that, thanks for watching. We're planning to do one on AIQ and another on Game of Thrones, just like this. Hopefully not quite as long, but we'll see. But hopefully you've learned something and you'll tune in on those as well.
Great job.